You know, I didn't think that the grenade launchers could get any better after what we've seen lately, but somehow Bungie went and proved all of us wrong because they released a brand new grenade launcher that just blows the rest of them out of the water, and we essentially have a new grenade launcher king. So today we're going to be talking about it. It is the Bittersweet, one of the brand new seasonal weapons. So today we're talking about what makes this weapon special, what makes it unique. We're going to be taking a look at the perks this weapon can roll, and also talking about what is the god roll that you should be looking for if you're looking for a god roll in this weapon. So first of all, let's talk about how to actually get this weapon. Since this is a seasonal weapon, you can get it from one slot, and also by using those tonics. You can use the Onslaught Heavy Weapon tonic, or you also have the one that specifically targets this grenade launcher if you made it that far in the tonics. Now this weapon comes with the origin trait Dark Ether Reaper, which is gonna make it so final blows spawn Dark Ether charges, and whenever you collect those charges or shoot them out of the air, it will reload your weapon. This one is not really that useful on this weapon. It is definitely a lot more useful on some of the other weapons, but it doesn't really have to be. What we're really worried about on this weapon are those trait perks. And that's actually the next thing we're going to be taking a look at. The trait perks, we're going to go over every single perk on both slots. I'm going to talk about if I think that they're good or not on this weapon. And after that we're going to have the god roll suggestions, so you guys can know what exactly to look for. So these are going to be all the options that we have for the very first trait perk. And we're going to be starting from the top with Reverberation. Final blows with this weapon will increase the size of its explosions for a short period of time. It essentially just maxes out your blast radius. It gives you 100 blast radius after getting a kill. And this is just not really going to be it for this grenade launcher. It's not really what you're looking for. Especially if you want this weapon for DPS, which is pretty much like the main thing you gotta do with it. Next after that we have one of the new perks, which is Envious Arsenal. Dealing damage with the other two weapons before readying this weapon will reload it from reserves. And this is the perk that I have seen probably the most since the season or episode started. Without even knowing what weapon it was on, I already knew it was crazy. This is essentially the same requirement as bait and switch, meaning that it's gonna pair it up perfectly with it, like it was just made for it. Meaning that this is gonna be like the go-to damage rotation perk. There's like gonna be no contest. This one is just gonna be the best one. If you are looking to do some damage rotations, then this is gonna be it. And if that wasn't enough, whenever you enhance this perk, you get increased reserves. So not only are you gonna be reloading your weapon or refreshing bait and switch, but you also are just gonna have just more overall ammo, which is just insane. Essentially, Bungie just decided that this was gonna be the damage rotation perk, and nothing else was gonna be as good as this. And to be completely honest, we could just stop here. Like, there's no point in really going past this perk because this is just overall just so much better than everything else. But I still want to touch on some of the other perks, even if they're not gonna be as good as this one. Now after this one we have Stats Roll. Stats Roll is not really what you want on a grenade launcher. You're not really going to proc it too often, especially if you're just doing damage with it. So this is not what you're looking for. Same with Unrelenting. Unrelenting gives you some health for getting a couple of kills, but you don't want to waste ammo on like a couple of just trash shots just to heal. So you definitely don't want Unrelenting either. After that we have Attrition Orbs, constantly doing damage with this weapon. Will spawn some orbs, and this is just okay, but it's not going to be great. And lastly, we have Loose Change. Whenever we apply an element to debuff, it increases the weapon's reload speed, aim down sight speed, and also movement speed while aiming down sights. This is pretty niche. There is a perk in the other slot that does proc this, which is Jolting Feedback, but still, I don't think it's going to be able to get anywhere close to Envious Arsenal. It's just not. So the best perk on this column, it is without a doubt Envious Arsenal. It looks like Bungie just kind of slapped this amazing perk on this column and knew it was amazing, that everyone was going to go for it, that they didn't even bother with the other perks. Now these are the options that we have for the second perk, and once again we're going to be starting from the top. And first we have Jolting Feedback. Dealing repeated damage with this weapon will inflict jolt. This perk itself is actually really good. I just don't think it's going to be good on a grenade launcher. I could see just some other perks as being much better than this. So Jolting Feedback, while I love it, I don't think it's going to be a great choice on this weapon. After that we're going to have Cascade Point. Cascade Point definitely has some potential, but its potential is definitely very niche and is usually reserved for like special challenges. there's gonna be just some better perks on this weapon that I think that you should go for if all you're looking for is just doing some big damage. After that, we have Explosive Light. Explosive Light is our very first like damage increasing perk, and it's pretty decent. Whenever you pick up some more power, it is gonna increase the damage of your shots, and it's a 25% damage increase. So it's not bad, it's definitely really nice, and it can be a pretty decent perk, especially if you get like this combined with MBS Arsenal. I could definitely see that being a very good role. After that, we're gonna have the star of the show, which is Bait and Switch. Dealing damage below your equipped weapons will give you a huge 30% damage buff, and this is pretty much like gonna be the go-to if you're just trying to get the best roll possible. Bait and Switch and MBS Arsenal are gonna be it. You're gonna constantly reload your weapon while re-proccing Bait and Switch. You're gonna have more reserves. Overall, this is just the role that's designed for doing as much damage as possible while carrying as much ammo as possible. I know that we got to this point, we could just stop here, but let's still move on to the other perks just like we did last time. Now, next perk after this one is going to be Harmony, which gives you a 20% damage buff, and it's just not really going to be that great. You need to get kills with your other weapons to activate it, and it's just not going to be as good as Bait and Switch or Explosive Light when it comes to like the damaging output. Now, next up we have Killing Tally, which is a very strange choice on the grenade launcher, considering that we don't really have that many shots. So we're really not gonna take advantage of Killing Tally that much. So I would just say skip it. This is pretty much like a good perk on like a machine gun, but that's pretty much it. And the last perk that we have on this column is Frenzy. Frenzy is usually pretty good on primaries, but on the grenade launcher, I don't think it's gonna be that great. The damage buff is definitely a lot lower than Bait and Switch or Explosive Light. It is literally like half of the Bait and Switch damage buff, so it's just not going to be able to keep up. So now that we looked at the perks, we gotta talk about the god rules, but I'm sure you guys kinda already figured out what god rules we're gonna go for. So the very first one is the whole reason why it's surprising me that the grenade launchers could get even stronger, which is Spike Nades, Envious Arsenal, and Bait and Switch. I just could not believe my eyes when I saw this thing to not only have a grenade launcher season, but also release pretty much like the most powerful grenade launcher we have ever seen. This role is pretty much gonna be good in everything. You wanna just have the best role possible, it is this one right here. But anyways, that is the bittersweet, the best grenade launcher to ever release in Destiny 2. A new king has been born, and hopefully you guys have a good one. I haven't gotten the perfect god roll on this weapon yet. I just can't get Bait and Switch with MBS Arsenal. I keep getting a bunch of different Bait and Switch rolls, but just not the one I'm looking for. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what do you guys think about this grenade launcher, and if it caught you by surprise that they decided to drop a perk like MBS Arsenal. This is just some crazy power that I definitely wasn't expecting, but now I definitely gotta get my hands on it. So let me know what you guys think about the grenade launcher, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care everyone, have a good rest of your day, peace.